بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شكرا للذين التزموا بالمواعيد وعادوا في الوقت المحدد. نبدأ على بركة الله. Session 5, Regulatory and Supervisory Framework Development and Main Challenges for Islamic Finance in New Markets. And I'm glad to invite His Excellency Mr. AAOIFI Al-Wadi, Head of Islamic Finance, World Bank, and the speakers, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Bouloud, President of Istanbul Sabahattin Sa'im, and His Excellency Mr. Saoud Boussaidi, Head of Islamic Banking Department, Central Bank of Oman, and His Excellency Mr. Ali Bey Nurbekov, Head of Islamic Finance at Asitana Financial Center Authority, and His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Tahir Al-Judi, Chief Operating Officer at Al-Maali Consulting Group, to start the session.
Okay. Welcome everybody to session 5. The title of this session is Regulatory and Supervisory Framework Development and the Main Challenges for Islamic Finance in New Markets. And on the panel today, we are lucky to have with us four eminent gentlemen who represent some of these new markets. Someone from Kazakhstan, Oman, Morocco, as well as Turkey. And they are going to discuss today some of the challenges they faced in developing Islamic finance in their respective jurisdictions. And this will give us some lessons of experience in terms of how to handle the development of such markets. The way we are going to play this is each speaker will have about 15 minutes to give us the highlights of their presentation. This is because, in the interest of time, we have a member of this panel who has to leave and catch a flight. So we have a very strong incentive to finish on time. Otherwise, he will be stuck here and will not be able to meet his commitment. So we are going to try and keep it to 15 minutes. So for the speakers, once you see me waving my hand frantically, know that you have about 5 minutes to go. First, I would like to call on Dr. Mohammed Bouloud, who is the president of Istanbul Zaim University. You have his full biography, so I'm not going to read it in detail. He's got a distinguished career, and he's going to tell us about Islamic finance in Turkey. Dr. Mohammed.
Thank you. Here, can I speak? Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. أريد أتكلم العربية في بداية. أصحاب المعالي السعادة والفضيلة حضرات الضيوف الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أتشرف بداية بالترحيب بكم على مشاركتكم بهذه الفعالية وهذا الحدث المهم جدا في طريق تطوير الصناعة المالية الإسلامية. بداية يسعدني ويشرفني أن ألتقي بحضراتكم ممثلا عن بلاد تركيا في هذا الحدث العلمي الكبير. واسمحوا لي أن أعرب عن خالص الشكر والتقدير لAAOIFI على تنظيمهم لهذا المؤتمر المهم ومساهمتهم في طرح الموضوعات والقضايات ذات الأولوية في تطوير صناعة الصرافة الإسلامية. وفي الجانب الفني والاقتصادي أنشأنا تحت رعاية الحكومة التركية في جامعة إسطنبول صباحة زعيم المسمى على اسم راند الاقتصاد الإسلامية في تركيا البروفيسور صباح الدين زعيم قسماً أكاديمية في تخصص الاقتصاد والمصارف الإسلامية باللغة العربية والتركية والإنجليزية، وجنباً إلى جنب أنشأنا المركز الدولي للاقتصاد والتمويل الإسلامية، وهذا كله قام بسبب الارتباط الوثيق بين الجامعة واهتمامات الحكومة في تطوير التمويل الإسلامي من جهة، وبين الجامعة والقطاع التمويل الإسلامي من جهة أخرى كبوابة أكاديمية للاقتصاد والتمويل الإسلامية في تركيا. وعلى هذا الصعيد فقد اهتمت جامعة بعقد واحتضان مؤتمرات والندوات الدولية وللدورات المتخصصة لرفع سوق الصرافات الإسلامية من تعيش حديثاً بالكوادر المؤهلة، وتوجد هذه الجهود بتوقيع اتفاقية بين AAOIFI والجامعة من أجل ترجمة المعايير بهدف اعتمادها كمرجعية للمؤسسات المالية الإسلامية في تركيا إن شاء الله. Brothers and sisters, I would like to first stress that in Turkey, until now, Islamic finance is, not realized as was expected, but in recent years, alhamdulillah, it is, there are, some big expectations from Islamic world and different parts of the world about Turkey on this issue. I just would like to mention the heritage of Turkey on the Islamic finance. As you know, the last representative of the Islamic civilization was the Ottoman Empire, and there is a huge, really strong heritage on this issue on the Ottoman cash box. As me, I am leading a project on the Ottoman cash box, and alhamdulillah, in recent 5 years we finished it, and this year we are publishing as 12 volumes, inshallah, on Ottoman cash box. We collected all the data and sources from the Ottoman archives, and inshallah we are publishing this year. And in addition to this history, collecting the sources of Ottoman cash box, in the beginning of 20th century it was established the Vakıf Bank. Today, as you know, from some part of these sources, the Vakıf Bank was established, Vakıf Katılım, and we are hoping all Vakıf Bank will be, inshallah, an Islamic bank as participation bank. This is our hope, and the government, in addition to Vakıf Bank, established Ziraat Katılım Bank. Now in Turkey, I will explain later, we have 5 now participation banks, and we hope it will increase in the future. So, as you know, Turkey has really a big potential as a geographical location, dynamic, young population, active diplomacy and international organizations, and Turkey is also trying to regenerating Silk Road with China, and you know, this road was the sharing of all sources in economy, the sharing of life, the sharing of business, the sharing of culture, and all the things. We as Muslims, I think, need to establish a Silk Road cooperation, connections, and inshallah collaborations. This is a new paradigm for the region and for the future of Islamic Ummah and for the future of humanity, I think. This is my believing. So, when you look at the chart, you will see that Turkey is coming after China and India in the region. It's really improving well in economy. And when you look at the macro economic outlook for Turkey, we are seeing that GDP is increasing, GDP per capita is increasing, and debt of the state, the government is decreasing, and socio-economic policies are okay, strong financial structure, and institutionalized economy fueled by and energy is very critical issue for the future. So, in recent years, after 2000, Turkey economy is really growing well, and by purchasing power parity, now GDP per capita is nearby 20,000 US dollar, alhamdulillah, and it's going well. When you look at the financial outlook, you will, in recent years, Turkey quick recovery process after 2001 crisis, and a new banking law was introduced in 2005. Stability is very critical issue, you know, and Turkey last year in 15th of 2016, we have a history before 15th of July and after 15th of July. Stability in Turkey, as the people of Turkey, we are very proud that, and we are believing that the future is bright for us and inshallah for the Ummah. So stability is now okay. Banks dominate the financial service sector in Turkey. Turkey established a Turkey Wealth Fund. It is also very important. Secret of success is healthy balance sheet structure, strong shareholders, equity and management experience. And so, when you look at the banks in Turkey, the conventional banks has a big share, 95%, just 5% is belongs to participation banks, to the Islamic finance. It's very small share, but we hope it will increase, inshallah. And the government has, you know, a strong, you know, programs for creating Istanbul as an Islamic finance center, inshallah, in the future. And this is the share of Islamic finance sector in Turkish financial sector. Now, the government has some targets to reach, and a new Islamic financial code is prepared, it's on the table, and private pension system, sovereign wealth fund I mentioned before, and inshallah by this new code it will increase, and for Islamic finance atmosphere it will be better, inshallah, in the future. This is the shares of instruments in Islamic finance market. The big one is, as you see, it's in Islamic banking industry is Muraba, Sukuk industry, Islamic fund industry, Tekaful, and Islamic finance, microfinances also exist. When we look at the region and to the world, today, we see that both the region and the world is need Islamic economy and Islamic finance to share the values of Islam, to share the values of humanity. We have very big problems, but our problem is not to solving the Islamic financial industry, but we have more things that have to solve, inshallah. So, in Turkey is, establishing state-owned participation banks, pension funds route under the principles of Islamic finance. There are still draft on interest-free finance law, but it's still a draft. In very near future, inshallah, it will come. Works on making Istanbul as a center for finance and Islamic finance, development instruments, real estate certificates, gold certificate, and in education, there is a big development as University, Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. We have now, as in the beginning of my speech in Arabic, I explained that we have Master and PhD in Turkish, Master and PhD in English, and Master and PhD in Arabic. And also we have undergraduate program in Turkish and in English. In addition to our university and some other universities in Turkey, this area, this science discipline of Islamic finance and economy is improving, alhamdulillah, after 2010. There is a big development in education sector. As you know, human resources are very key for this issue, and we are trying to prepare a new generation in a good ability to leading in this sector, inshallah, in the future. So, when we look at the history of regulations at interest-free finance in Turkey, it started after 1980s. But as you know, for all Muslims, 20th century is a big gap for this issue. It was, start after 1970s, it's very new, but 20th century, we missed that century, and inshallah, the future of years will be, inshallah, as all together we will do better. First was established Al-Baraka and Faisal Finance in 1985, and now we have 5, as I mentioned before. There are Al-Baraka, Kuwait Türk, Türkiye Katılım, Vakıf Bank, and Ziraat Katılım Participation Bank. Now, in institutional settings for interest-free finance, we have also some other, institutions. They are very key on that. BIST Istanbul, Capital Market Board, and Central Bank of Republic of Turkey. They are also supporting the process in addition to these participation banks in Turkey. So, I think my time is coming and is running. Now, just 3 minutes, it's very good. The share of Islamic finance sector in Turkey is about 5, but the target of the government is in 2023 to reach to 15% of finance system. And normally it's impossible to realize it, but we hope the government has some more things in their agenda to support by as a state, and we hope in the recent future we will see a new participation banks in Islamic finance in Turkey, inshallah. They will increase it, and Turkey as GDP is very big in the region, the biggest economy in the region, the 17th of the world economy, but in Islamic finance, it's, it's very limited. But keep in mind, the issue is just not Islamic finance. Islamic economics is very important. When we discussed with our colleagues from the West and from the East, how Turkey is managed this crisis when the West is facing in 2008 and other days. We are explaining that this is because of the Islamic economics. It's playing its role in Turkish society and economy. What is it? I would like to stress that the people of Turkey are sharing the life, sharing the risks. Somebody is, losing its job from financial sector, but his relatives from other part of Turkey is sending some kind of support, some kind of food and all the things. This is, a different thing than the West. So Turkey is managing this crisis because of its huge, deep concern about feeling of Islamic economic sharing life, sharing risk, sharing everything. So keep in mind our issue is not just Islamic finance. In addition to Islamic finance, we have to, do some more things for whole economy. And so Turkey, in this chart you see, it's behind Saudi Arabia, Iran, Malaysia, Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, in Islamic finance, but inshallah, we will also be in a better situation in the future. So, this is again the shares, as I explained, it's about 5%, and it will, inshallah, reach to 15% in 2020. Okay, it doesn't work. So, my time has finished, and I would like to thank again for AAOIFI for inviting us here to share these ideas with you here in Bahrain. And we, as Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University, I mentioned in the beginning of my speech, we are translating AAOIFI standards to Turkish, inshallah, and it will help for the future of industry in Turkey. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mehmet, and for keeping to the time limit. I found your presentation interesting in several respects. Your focus on education, you talked about the fact that you have this partnership with the government and you are developing master's and PhD programs in Islamic finance and economics, and this is very critical given the need to raise the number of qualified professionals in this area. Your talk of the Turkish heritage, the Ottoman heritage, is also fascinating for me because, as you know, we have this Islamic Finance Center in Istanbul, and this was one of the reasons we used when we were trying to justify locating this center in Istanbul. The location, physical presence of Istanbul in the middle of East and West, and the history of the Ottoman Empire. So I found that really, really interesting. So let's move on now to Mr. Saud Al-Busaidi from Oman. Oman is also a recent entrant into this market in terms of focus on regulatory and enabling environment issues. So let's hear from him about what they are doing in Oman to develop Islamic finance.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكرا جزيلا طبعا على الدعوة الكريمة، وخاص بالذكر سعادة الدكتور حامد ميرة. لي الشرف الكبير أن أكون بينكم هنا أعرض تجربة عمان فيما يخص الرقابة والإشراف على المصارف والنوافذ الإسلامية. مصيري من مصيرك دكتور حامد. أوكي. محتوى العرض المرئي اللي راح أقدمه يتمثل في مجموعة من المحاور. رؤية البنك المركزي العماني فيما يخص الصيرفة الإسلامية، التعديلات التي طرأت في القانون المصرفي العماني، ما هو الإطار التنظيمي الذي يستخدم حاليا في عمان؟ الرقابة الشرعية أهدافها ومكوناتها، النموذج التنظيمي للنوافذ الإسلامية، واللائحة التنظيمية للهيئة العليا للرقابة الشرعية، والوضع الحالي بالنسبة للسوق المصرفية المالية في السلطنة والتحديات أيضا. هذه هي رؤية أو الأسس التي تم الاعتماد عليها في مسألة يعني الإشراف والرقابة على المصارف على الصيرفة الإسلامية في السلطنة، من خلال إطار رقابي داعم وفعال، رقابة شرعية محكمة، الالتزام بأفضل الممارسات الدولية، وهنا أخص بالذكر المعايير المحاسبية للAAOIFI، والمعايير أيضا الرقابية للAAFSB، كفاية رأس المال، حماية المودعين والمتعاملين، وأيضا المصداقية في ممارسة الأعمال المصرفية الإسلامية. قبل 2012 القانون المصرفي لا يعتد بالصيرفة الإسلامية. في 2011 بعد ما صدرت الأوامر والتوجيهات بالسماح للصيرفة الإسلامية، بدأنا كمرحلة أولى نشتغل على القانون وكيف ممكن نعدله بحيث يواكب وينظم الأعمال المصرفية الإسلامية. طبعا ما في شك أن احنا استفدنا من التجارب السابقة، وربما أخص بالذكر التجربة الماليزية والتجربة البحرينية في هذا الجانب. ربما احنا حاولنا نبدأ من حيث ما انتهى الآخرون في هذا الجانب، فأدخلنا مجموعة من التعديلات على القانون المصرفي. أدخلنا 6 مواد تطرقت إلى ما هو الإطار القانوني للأعمال المصرفية الإسلامية والرقابة والإشراف، اختصاص مجلس المحافظين للبنك المركزي بوضع اللوائح والتعليمات والإرشادات، سلطة البنك المركزي في الترخيص لنوعين: مصارف متكاملة ونوافذ إسلامية للمصارف التقليدية. عرفنا ما هي المعاملات المصرفية الإسلامية، إعفاء، وهذا طبعا واحد من الأشياء المهمة التي أدخلت في القانون المصرفي، إعفاء المصارف والنوافذ الإسلامية من الرسوم التي تفرض على التعامل في الأصول العقارية والمنقولة، وما هي أسس الرقابة الشرعية التي يجب أن تنظم الصيرفة الإسلامية في السلطنة، من خلال لجنة للرقابة الشرعية في كل مصرف أو نافذة، وأيضا هيئة عليا للرقابة المركزية أو الهيئة العليا للرقابة الشرعية في البنك المركزي. بعد ما تم التعديل مباشرة احنا أصدرنا الإطار التنظيمي أو التعليمات الرقابية فيما يخص الصيرفة الإسلامية. طبعا استفدنا كما ذكرت من التجارب السابقة. أيضا تمت المساعدة من قبل أحد المستشارين في هذا الجانب في صياغة الإطار التنظيمي. الإطار التنظيمي أو الرول بوك احنا ما نسميه، أو الIBRF اختصارا بالإنجليزي، يحتوي على 10 أبواب حوالي 600 صفحة. حبينا يكون كل شيء في مكان واحد، في كتيب واحد، على أساس يكون في تسهيل في التعامل مع الصيرفة الإسلامية للبنوك والنوافذ.